Hello and welcome to the Business News brought to you by Blytheway. I'm Charlie Gibson. Now, as we know, not all companies do exactly what they say on the tin. So if I were to give you a company that had Caledonia in its name, you might think it had something to do with Scotland. But very sensibly, this company has decided not to go mining in Scotland, but has gone to go mining in Zimbabwe. And while it may have, while the name in that respect might be a touch confusing, it does exactly what it says on the tin in terms of its returns to shareholders. And in its most recent announcement today, its dividend, its quarterly dividend, has been increased by 18% to 10 cents a share. At least as importantly, over the space of last year, almost exactly, its share price has more than doubled, almost tripled. You could have bought the shares at £5.60 a year ago. They're currently trading at £13.85. Without more ado, I'm going to introduce Steve Curtis, who is the chief executive of the company. The company, as you'll of course will have guessed by now, is Caledonia Mining. Steve, very warm welcome. Thank you very much indeed for joining us here today.
Thank you, Charlie. Nice to be with you again.
Absolute pleasure to have you on the show. So tell us a little bit more. Obviously, good news, up 18% to 10 cents a share. So that will keep everybody happy. Just tell us a little bit more about the sort of background thinking, would you, behind that dividend?
Certainly, Charlie, as you correctly say, this is the third increase that we have put through, accumulating up to 45% since October last year. And the message that we have conveyed is that shareholders have been patient over the last 5 years while we've been doing the shaft expansion. We said once that was done and the capex tailed off, we would be returning more money to shareholders. We found ourselves now, even though it is during the COVID pandemic, with a mine that is producing very, very well, hitting targets, if not exceeding targets. We've got a very good gold price. Cost controls are in the same place that Blanket has always achieved, apart from some additional costs specific to COVID, which we know will taper off. And that leaves us in a position where we have got a good amount of cash, and we are coming to the end of the shaft program. And therefore, we wanted to reward shareholders and continue with our dividend increase. So that gave us the opportunity to move from 8.5 cents to 10 cents for this dividend. And we're very pleased about that.
So would it be reasonable to assume that this is the start of a long series of dividend increases?
Charlie, we pay on a quarterly basis, as you said. And our intention is to continue to deliver what we've said we would deliver. And that means we will have finished equipping the shaft this year. We'll commission it early in Q1 of next year. And then there will be a slow and regular ramp up of gold production. And we will hit our 80,000 ounces in 2022 with a declining capex profile. And therefore, cash is going to be a lot more abundant. And I think it's obvious to say that, yes, some of that cash will be deployed into other opportunities, but shareholders will get rewarded. So I think you should watch us on a quarterly basis.
We will look forward to doing that. The other thing, and you slightly alluded to it there, just that you can return cash to shareholders or you can reinvested in other opportunities. Are there any other opportunities out there at the moment that you're particularly looking at that you can talk to us about?
Yes, Charlie, we've also spoken about this on a fairly regular basis over the last couple of years. And as we've been working on the shaft, we've been looking at opportunities to fill the pipeline so that when Blanket, which is our only asset at the moment, is now running in solid state at 80,000 ounces. We want to have something else on the portfolio, which enables shareholders to say, great, you're not a single asset operation anymore. 80,000 ounces for us is a very attractive production level, but we know we need to get bigger. So there are opportunities in Zimbabwe, in our opinion, is one of the last gold frontiers in the world. We find it a good place to operate. It's got a great workforce. It's got good logistical connection to Johannesburg. And we've got a very good team based in Zimbabwe and in Johannesburg. So we've been looking actively for other opportunities, mainly sort of brownfield opportunities that we can bring something up the value curve, and we can add value, we can instill our own disciplines. And we know there are lots in Zimbabwe. We've been looking aggressively, and we're working hard to see if we can close one or two.
I've heard it said that almost all mining assets in Zimbabwe are up for sale at the moment. So I suppose that gives you that puts you in the right place at the right time as a purchaser. Are you prepared to look outside Zimbabwe's borders? Are there opportunities maybe to the south or to the north, or maybe to the east or the west?
At this point in time, it's not part of our strategy to look outside of the country. We would be very disappointed if we can't secure something in country. And we're confident about our abilities to operate in Zimbabwe. And we'd like to leverage off that. So we are going to leave no stone unturned in Zimbabwe. We're obviously not going to just walk into something for the sake of making an acquisition. We've got our own internal metrics by which we are driven and we evaluate projects. And we believe, as you rightly say, most things are up for sale. And, quite rightly, most things are for sale if the price is right. And, but we will evaluate on very strict terms what we want to do. And we're very hopeful that we'll be able to find something, and then we can move on to the next stage.
Obviously, exciting times for you. Just tell us, if we would look out over the next few months, what sort of announcements in terms of news flow are we going to should investors be looking for? What and when, roughly?
Well, Charlie, we've just finished Q3 yesterday. So as usual, we put out a quarterly production update. So that will be drafted and out in the next few days. Obviously, our Q3 financials will be out in about a month. And if we've had a good production period, which I think people may be able to assume by the fact that we've been quite aggressive with our dividend increase, then we would hope that our financial results are equally as impressive. So we'll have financial results, we'll have a production update. We need to talk more to the market about our solar project, and we will be doing that because the market knows that we have raised the necessary funds, so we're fully funded for the project. Lockdown is being relaxed, and we can really get the wheels spinning to get that project going. So we'll share that news with the market as well. So there's quite a lot of news that should be coming out. And of course, as I said, completion of the equipping of the shaft by the end of the year. We'll talk about that proudly. And we've been talking a lot about future opportunities. And maybe we can get something in the bag before Christmas. And we will happily and proudly talk about that as well.
Steve, thank you very much indeed. We wish you all the very best. Come back and talk to us about some of those issues in the very near future. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Steve Curtis, the Chief Executive Officer of Caledonia Mining, talking to me there. I'm afraid that's all we got time for from the business news brought to you by Blytheway today. I'm Charlie Gibson signing off. As I say, Caledonia shares up from £5.60 a year ago to £13.85. So somewhere between doubling and trebling over the course of the last 12 months. As the Americans say, you go do the maths. We'll be bringing you more such investment opportunities in the very near future. We also look forward to welcoming Steve back on the show again in the next few months, weeks and years to talk to us about some of those initiatives he was talking about. Until then, that'll be me, Charlie Gibson, signing off, but you have a very capital day.